Steven, I think they're ready for us. You ready?
Yep. Yep.
So what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of We Got Next. As always, I am one of your hosts, Hayes, aka AO Shifty, with the one and only Steven at Steven_Springs. And Steven said it best online. It's basically college football Eve. And that's one of the big things we'll end up talking about. A couple of things I just want to let everyone know about. We're going to do the regular introduction and talk about our two shows. Then we're going to dive into the merchandise. So I know some of the rejects out there, that's basically what they're waiting for. So I'll make sure to get into that. We'll get into things that have been happening in cryptos, Utes and stuff. And then we'll dive into football with college football and the NFL coming up. So with that being said, what's been good with the quick slants? What's up for the people?
Quick slants coming back tomorrow night after Penn State gets the W. Oh, no, Friday night. After Penn State gets the W tomorrow night, start the season on the road against Purdue, 8 o'clock on Fox. Pitt, West Virginia, backyard brawl kicks off at 7. So we got a little bit of action, about an hour of action before you switch over to Fox. Watch Penn State get the W, like I said. Weird starting the season on Thursday. We've done the Friday thing before. Thursday kind of sucks because we got to go to work tomorrow or the next day. So going to be highly unproductive on Friday. So, but yeah, Quick Slants will be back on Friday night. Recap the Penn State game. Give me a little bit longer episode. Recap the Penn State game. Talk about the ups and the downs. And then talk about the Saturday slate. Get everybody ready. First full weekend of college football. You know, pretty much every team is playing. 90% of the teams are playing. And then there's games. This is one of those weekends since there's no NFL this weekend. College football kind of has the whole weekend. We play tomorrow night. This game's Friday night. There's a game Saturday all day, obviously. And then there are games Sunday and Monday. Monday is usually just one game. It's like, I think the Chick-fil-A kickoff or something along those lines, maybe. So yeah, full weekend college football. Very pumped. This is like, obviously I love the NFL, but I love college football way more than the NFL. Also watch the NFL, of course, duh. But this is better than Christmas. Like that night before, so I'm very pumped. But yeah, Quick Slants will be back on Friday. Go follow the Quick Slants on Twitter at the Quick Slants. Try and get more and more. I'm going to tweet from both my account and that account. Do a little double duty, just try and gain some traction and gain some followers as the season goes along. So make sure you go check out the Quick Slants on Twitter at the Quick Slants. And then I will put out another episode sometime on Friday night, like standard 8 o'clock ish.
Like Steven said, make sure to end up listening. Honestly, I didn't know who, and of course, people are going to kill me out there in the Penn State world. I didn't know who Jahan Dotson was, honestly, before it was Steven. And if you listen, the homie. And what is it, Brisker?
Jaquan Brisker, yeah.
Yeah, that's another one. So both of them, Steven talking about him on the show, talking about the sleepers. Another thing is, Steven had brought this up, but who's the backup quarterback?
My man, number 15, Drew Allar. 5-star true freshman coming in. He won't play this year unless Sean Clifford, who's our starting quarterback, is playing like shit. If Penn State starts 1-2, and we're 1-2 after we play Auburn week 3, and it's because of him, I think Drew Allar will get, that conversation will get started. But if Clifford, as long as he's doing well, we keep winning, you shouldn't hear his name. Hopefully we get a couple of those big wins in there and he can come in and, second half type of thing. So yeah, but he's a true freshman. He jumped up. He had a really less than stellar spring. If it's a 5-star quarterback, you want them coming in to be the starter no matter what. So that probably wasn't going to happen regardless. But he had a subpar spring and then worked through the summertime. There was videos of him working out and all that kind of good stuff. Came in through camp and had a really great camp. All the word was he was doing well, productive, making the throws, stepping up. So, it's a fluid situation throughout the entire season, but obviously he's got to keep it up during the season and go against the scout team and go against the defense and all that kind of good stuff. So, but yeah, that's good news for Penn State fans for the future. But the season starts tomorrow and we got Sean Clifford, 6-year quarterback, the man, the myth, the legend. Need a full healthy season from Cliff. But yeah, very, very excited about that. That's big news for Penn State football fans.
Yes, sir. On the other side, just in terms of the Twitter spaces, so Mondays we've done 24 now. with the Solana NFT spaces. We had a big show on Monday. I did 3. I don't know if I'll do 3 different times again. I did one at 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 7 o'clock.
Man, this man is busy. Do you still work for Freddie Mac or not?
I know.
Are they aware of this?
I know.
Are you working on the company time?
No, we've talked about this.
I don't know how your laptop can handle all that.
I know. I got 2 laptops.
Hey, a man.
But then we had one tonight. I had Atrium, who was a cross-chain metaverse play. That's on the Near ecosystem. So on Mondays, I try and do Solana. Wednesdays, I try and do Near. And then one of the ones that started off the show, I really have to shout them out, is the Solana Monke Rejects. And I told them, and then I also told Lemon Scented. I like to always call them Lemon Pepper Wings for some reason, but Lemon Scented. I told them that I was going to end up doing a reveal just about the merch I end up getting, and then to end up giving our reviews on like how it is, how it feels, and stuff like that. You always see online just like pictures of like gummies and things of that nature, but you don't really know how it fits on a person. So I was like, I'll end up doing it. So the first one I got was the beanie. I had to go with that, just like a regular.
Your video quality is lacking right now.
Really?
It's a little fuzzy. Like you're I can still see you, and like there's no delay or anything, but I can't see like the logo, if there's a logo on there.
Oh no.
I'd have to get closer. It's a little blurry, I guess I should say. It might just be, it's probably your laptop, but whatever.
We'll see.
But so that looks comfy. Looks warm.
It's super comfy. It's not like the ones that are super loose. This honestly is one of those you'll just put on.
Is it heavy?
And no, it's not. It's more so light. It's a tighter fit for those that want like a tighter fit on their head, but it does the job, especially for me, because I'm like, I have a bunch of different beanies that I'll wear to different sporting events. So if I need to end up having the ones, like if I'm going to a Penn State game, you wouldn't wear this one because your ears are still going to be freezing cold. But if you want it for like the fall weather, early winter for like the East Coast people, this is probably a good thing for you to end up wearing out there. So that was the first one. Second one I got was a hoodie. So it was just a sand color hoodie. And we'll see if this doesn't take a long time to end up doing. The long sleeve I won't end up probably putting on, but this one I'll end up doing.
Still going. We're good. We're getting there. Got adjust the glasses.
So this one.
What size is that?
It's an extra large.
Okay.
So it's a good fit. It's an extra large on me, and I'm not a super skinny person, so it does fit. It gives you the pockets up front as well. And it's, I would say, get a bigger size than a smaller size, because you got to think if you're going to wash it, if you're going to do anything.
What about hood size? How's that going? Is that a tight fitting hood? Is it loose?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh, it's pretty okay. It's pretty loose.
Yeah.
All right.
So that was the hoodie one that I got. The last one, a lot of people wanted the hoodie. But the last one I got was a long sleeve one. Some people call it like a crew neck. Some people call it whatever you want to. But I got mine in like the pinkish color.
Just taking it off. Good job. Oh, lost the headphones. Lost the headphones. Get those squared away. I've ditched the headphones lately.
Oh, you have?
I also don't know where my AirPods are, so I'm just going with no headphones. It's like
this is the last one.
So for those listening who are not gonna be watching it, but for those listening on Spotify, it's got like the think of it like the font is like a LA Dodgers type of font.
Yes.
I don't know if that was like on purpose, but is that like, is that a sweatshirt or a t-shirt?
I would guess you would consider it a sweatshirt.
All right. So like, okay. Is it as heavy as the other one?
It's a little bit lighter.
Okay.
So this one's a little bit lighter. I like how the logo is on it. It kind of fills up a decent amount of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't a super tight fit for me, which I did like. And I have to give a big shout out to them for that. That the hoodie and then the long sleeve, it was a difference in like the fit. Because you know sometimes how they'll just be like, let's just use the same material, throw a hood on and call it a day. And it's a snug fit. And I'm like,
Nope.
Why don't I just cut the hood off or something like that? So that was the beanie, the long sleeve, and the hoodie. So shout out to them. I'll probably get something else if they do come back around with more merch. I know a good amount of the things sold out, but I was excited to end up being able to get a part of the first collection that they end up having with this. So Lemon Scented, you did a great job. I know they're coming out with the clays now with their collection, and I like to end up seeing that. We also got these
stickers. All right.
Yep. So I've been seeing people put them around. Huh?
Laptop stuff.
Yeah. So that's something else I'm ended up doing. So depending on how many of the Monke Rejects end up liking this or subscribing and stuff, I might put these somewhere. That's a big thing. If I put this on the laptop, but so everything had its logo, which was cool. It wasn't one of those annoying type of logos that you end up seeing like blown up everywhere. But yeah, so shout out to the Solana Monke Rejects for that. I'm excited to always just talk to them, hop in their Discord, and just show some love out there with that. Diving into the crypto and finance world, I have to start with the Utes. So for everyone out there that doesn't know, Utes is probably the biggest thing in the Solana ecosystem right now. Different people that are part of the Utes list that they have. So Allen Iverson is on the Utes list.
You say Allen Iverson?
Yes, Allen Iverson is on
like
the Utes list.
Allen Iverson?
Yeah, the okay. Allen Iverson. Wayne Rooney is on the Utes list.
Okay. All right.
And they had like 4 or 5 others. I can't list them all. I know those are the 2 that you would end up knowing. It was a rapper that was a part of it as well. I don't remember who it was. Not like Jay-Z or anything like that. We didn't get there yet.
Bummer.
But so that was like the big thing. They're minting this week. Also, in terms of like DeGod, so if you had a dead god, you would end up getting 1 useless spot. And currently, last I checked, DeGod was sitting at over 550 Solana, but then it came down because, of course, all of the DeGod's accounts got suspended. But so we'll call it 520 Solana. And that with Solana sitting at $32 right now, that's over $16,000 1 DeGod is worth. So for everyone out there that has a DeGod, super shout out to you guys. I, of course, have a DeGod. I will always hold the dead god. I will get at least 1 Ute spot, but I've told everyone I've told on the spaces that I'm trying to end up getting at least 1 more DeGod. Well, a DeGod or a Ute. So that's kind of the big thing I'm also trying to do with that. Going forward, I just want to let everyone know, keep an eye on different NFT link tokens that are out there. So for example, we have like Forge, which is Blocksmith. They have an art redoing that they have, and it looks dope. I've seen the different sneak peeks of it. So make sure to end up paying attention for what Blocksmith does. Of course, Dust is sitting at over $3. I got in when it was around $1.40 or so. So that's an easy, good 2x profit. Look at Vault with Vandals. So Vandals is another one that's doing stuff. Foxy with Famous Fox Federation. And those are the 4 I'll say for you guys to end up looking into. Another thing that I want to just touch on is Bitcoin and Michael Saylor. So Bitcoin is currently sitting at around $20,000. The reason why I brought that up is because Michael Saylor is allegedly getting sued and they're coming after him for evading taxes. Michael Saylor has been like the main person that's been buying like all this cryptocurrency, aka Bitcoin, and now they've been saying he's evading taxes. So people assume that he's probably hiding it in Bitcoin. Bad part about that is that just creates FUD because people already thought that people were hiding their money in Bitcoin. So for Michael Saylor to end up doing that, that's not necessarily the best look. The other thing I want to just touch on really quick is Bed Bath & Beyond. Not talking about it for the store itself, but Bed Bath & Beyond had filed for bankruptcy. If anyone had been paying attention, you knew that Bed Bath & Beyond had a run up last week, and it got halted at one point. Well, Bed Bath & Beyond has announced that they're going to have closures and they are going to have layoffs within their stores. So the price of it ended up going down. Yeah, so we'll see which stores and locations they're going to end up stopping. If it's just, no offense, love Wyoming, Montana, but if it's Wyoming's location or Montana's location, I'm sure it's not going to be a huge dent to them compared to like if it was a California location or like a New York location.
Isn't that where a lot of people do? Isn't that where a lot of people do their wedding registry at?
Where? Bed Bath & Beyond? Yeah. Bed Bath & Beyond, Amazon is
where we did it.
Yeah. So Bed Bath & Beyond's a good one for people to end up doing it. It's not like overly expensive depending on what you get, but then it has a variety of stuff.
They got some good shit there.
Yeah, they do.
Just don't go to the Beyond section. Don't go there. Don't go there. We've all been there. We've all wondered what's there.
I know.
Just don't.
So 2 other things, and then we'll move into the sports that I want to talk about. So the Eurozone in Europe, they hit a 9.1% inflation. That is something that is concerning because everywhere inflation has been increasing, but for it to be that high in Europe and like the Eurozone, that is a concern. We'll see what ends up happening with it, but that doesn't look good for the continued future because it just indicates more of a recession has to happen as we go forward. Final thing I want to bring up, and I really want Steven's thoughts on this because I've thought about it a couple of times. So NASA, for everyone out there with NASA, NASA is going to launch on Saturday one of their rockets. It's not going to have astronauts in it. It's just going to be strictly the rocket going up into space, and it's going to journey around the moon. I say that because it was supposed to have a launch on Monday, and they had engine issues. So so it's going to go up into space and go around the moon. But the only thing people are saying is the weather is something that they have to worry about, because if anyone knows anything about NASA, rocket ships, aerodynamics, space, and stuff, you have to have damn near perfect conditions. Like nothing can go wrong. You can't have a random pelican like fly by and have like 2 miles an hour gusts. Like anything can throw it off. It has to go up, break the atmosphere, go up, do its own thing. What are your thoughts on that? One, about the whole engine issues and they're still sending it up. If they had humans, what are your thoughts on it? If they don't have humans, as they don't, what are your thoughts?
Well, they picked a bad day to do it because I ain't gonna be watching because college football is starting, so I'm not gonna be watching it. But yeah, if they had humans on it, like no one's doing it, right?
Hell no.
Like, you're not gonna sign me up for it. Like if
we had engine issues,
if you and I were, I mean, you've been on planes with missing engines, so like all like so you're built for this. You're built for this shit. So they were like, hey, Christian, Steven, just so you guys know, we're gonna go ahead. Like how do they do that? Do they just send like an email, like a text message, like hey, just so you guys know, we're gonna push back the launch from Monday to Saturday. Had some engine issues. All is well. Stay tuned, or like, talk soon. Like, I wonder how the communication goes. And like, yeah, sure, no people. Yeah, send that thing. Like, I mean, I say this like jokingly, like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, it probably blows up midair, right?
Yeah.
Now that can create some problems because I'm sure that shit will just fall on everybody.
Yes.
But yes, it will. But this is what's the goal? Are they just like flying it around the moon to see that we can do it, or like what's the goal?
So I'm gonna say
if we're not landing it, like what's if we're not landing it, which would be dope.
Yeah,
because we need to do that, right? Like we need to go back to the moon.
I know.
Like we haven't been there in like 60 years. We need to go back.
I think we do.
We need to go back. Like I still that's an entirely different conversation that maybe I don't know. I don't feel like getting into that now, but maybe we should eventually. Like, how have we not been back to the moon since 60, like 9? What is it? How's that possible?
I don't even know.
Right.
I'll look it up to give everyone the correct time when we did it. The first thing is they're going around the moon a lot of the times to end up gathering information of what is up there, how long it takes to get around the moon.
1969.
1969.
July 20th, 1969.
So that's insane that they haven't been back. Some shit must have been on the moon that they saw and they were like,
oh fuck,
we're not going back.
We cannot do this.
We just can't tell nobody about this shit for a long time. Right. But that's the first thing. The other thing that I want to say is, so last year I always go to random places. And there's a place in like the Maryland, Virginia, near the water called Assateague and Chincoteague. And over there they have they have a
Okay.
place where horses like just roam free and stuff like that, and the horses like will go in the water and stuff of that nature. But they send rockets up into space over there, and one exploded in the air, and everyone always wonders, well, what happens to the pieces? Well, the pieces just flew down like into the water. Some ended up like going into someone's like yard, stuff like that, and people just want to touch the pieces. They don't realize these pieces are hot as shit, and they can't just go over there and like touch the piece. So that's kind of the big thing. It falls down. Most of the times they want to gather as many pieces as they can, so they can figure out what went wrong or like what things can they do to fix it. But then also it messes up the atmosphere because of the different oils that they use or the chemicals that are inside of these different rockets and spaceships. I'm not an expert at it. This is
You
just
sound
what
like it.
the people I know. This
My
is just
man
what the
working for
people
NASA
at
over here.
Acetig or Shingatig told me about that.
Sure.
But just stay tuned for whatever happens with that. I will probably let you guys know next week if they have the launch or not, because it's a big space war. So everyone knows like the next branch of the military has become like space. That's kind of next big thing that they're doing. We have like the technology war, then we have the race to space. Those are the two things, but that's what I wanted to end up covering in terms of the crypto and the finance side, what's going on in life. I want to turn it now over into some of the bigger topics that have been going on. First off, college football. One, what are your games to watch this weekend? And also, do you have a couple of players people should end up looking forward to?
Players, yeah. Will Anderson, outside linebacker from Alabama. I mean, you can watch anybody on Alabama's team, but Will Anderson from Alabama is someone that broke the single season tackles for loss record with 33 and a half, which is like a mind blowing number to have in a, I think he had it in 15 games, and postseason games count towards, towards that. So yeah, he had 33 and a half tackles for loss, and he was, I don't remember if he wasn't in the Heisman finalist. Aiden Hutchinson was defensive end from Michigan, which rightfully so. But Will Anderson should be in that list again. If you're looking for another non-quarterback to win, I hate saying it, but Ohio State wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba had 15 catches, I think like 346 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Rose Bowl against Utah. He's another guy. If Ohio State, does the same thing as they did last year, they lost Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave to the draft. They do have Travion Henderson. They do have a Marvin Harrison Jr. They have a ton of talented wide receivers. So Ohio State has 3 legitimate Heisman Trophy candidates: C.J. Stroud, the quarterback; Travion Henderson, the running back; and Jackson Smith-Njigba, the wide receiver. Bryce Young looking to become the first repeat Heisman Trophy winner since Archie Griffin in the 70s. That's something to keep an eye on as well. There's a couple of teams to keep an eye on, like Michigan, Pitt, Michigan State. All had super successful seasons last year. Michigan made the playoffs. Michigan State, I think, won 10 games last year. Pitt almost made the playoffs. They won 11 games last year, had a Heisman Trophy finalist. Michigan State had Kenneth Walker. Pitt, I mentioned, Michigan had Aiden Hutchinson. All those talented guys that they had, all gone. So those teams will probably take a step back. I mentioned to start, you can watch Pitt tomorrow night. They play West Virginia backyard ball, 7:00, I believe, on ESPN or
ESPN Plus.
Shout out to the ESPN Plus family. So there's a handful of teams to keep an eye on as well as players. Biggest games on Saturday are number 11 Oregon takes on number 3 Georgia, 3:30. I think that is actually the Chick-fil-A kickoff. That's going to be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. I think Georgia will dump truck Oregon, but that's why they play the game. Utah, number 7 Utah travels to Gainesville to take on the unranked Florida Gators. That is 7:00 on ESPN. That's a good game to watch. Under the radar game because Florida's not ranked, but that's a big game for them to start the season. They are paying Utah $500,000 to come to their
God damn.
to come to Gainesville and potentially get their asses kicked.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep an eye on. Biggest game of the weekend is 7:30 on ABC. Number 5 Notre Dame travels to take on number 2 Ohio State in Columbus. I think Ohio State right now is a 17.5-point favorite. I think they are favored by double digits every game this season, or projected to be favored by double digits, including on the road at Penn State. Hopefully that'll change by the time we play them, but nonetheless, we'll see. But yes, Notre Dame probably shouldn't be ranked number 5, but they are. And then, so that's why the game is magnified even more with the ranking. Notre Dame I don't think they'll be as good as they were last year. But still, nonetheless, I am blanking on their quarterback, on their new coach's name right now.
Mr. Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, Marcus Freeman. Yes, young guy. They kept their defense coordinator Tommy Reese as well, or no, offense coordinator. I mean, so that should be a good game. I think it'll be better than people think. I do think Ohio State wins because they have way more talent than most teams do this in the country. But that's a good game to watch as well. And then I don't think. Oh yeah. And for those late people who want to stay up past midnight,
Hawaii,
and who want to stay up past midnight, there's a couple of different games you can watch on the West Coast. Boise State, Oregon State, 10:30 ESPN. Kent State takes on Washington, 10:30 on FS1. And then for you late bloomers, like I back in the day, I would do this, but I can't do this anymore. 11:59 p.m. kickoff. Western Kentucky takes on Hawaii. I do, and then Sunday, I mentioned there's games Sunday, Monday. Sunday is Florida State at LSU, and then Monday is number 4 Clemson taking on Georgia Tech. I did want to bring up real quick. Shout out to Kent State. I don't know who the fuck put their schedule together, but whoever did must have pissed off at Kent State. If Kent State is not projected to be good this year, they were in the bottom third of the country last year in the MAC. Shout out to them. But they go on the road. The first 4 games of their season, they go on the road. So Kent State is in Ohio. Ohio. So they go across country. They play at Washington. The following weekend, they play at Oklahoma. The first home game of the season, they play Long Island, which I hope they win that game. And then the following week, they go on the road to take on number 3 Georgia. So I don't know who all these games,
they got paid.
And I guarantee you these games have been scheduled for 10 years, because there's always those tweets that come out from whoever that say, I can, like, honestly, I remember vividly when I saw the tweets that said, Penn State and Auburn will be playing a home and home in 2021 and 2022. I was like, great. I don't care about a game that is 10 years from now. But, here we are. So I'm sure these games were scheduled a long time ago. But nonetheless, at Washington, at number 9 Oklahoma, Long Island, which I didn't know they had a football team, and then at number 3 Georgia. So if they survive that and go 1-3, that's a significant win for them. Yeah. But I mean, that's tough. But yeah, there's opening weekend college football. It's gonna be a little sloppy at times, but there should be some pretty good games. Like I said, Penn State, Purdue tomorrow night. Handful of games tomorrow. Central Michigan at number 12. Oklahoma State is also tomorrow night, 7:00 FS1. But man, it's opening weekend college football. It cannot get any better than that.
Let's go. So I should have some time. I want to end up watching some of the games. I don't know, even though they're probably not going to be as good. LSU's hype video from when it was Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Derek Stingley was still one of the most fire videos I have seen. And I'm like, all right, let me just go tune into them, just seeing the colors and stuff like that.
Speaking of hype videos, I just Penn State just came out with their hype video for not like the official hype video, but Coach Franklin just posted a video for this week specifically. So I tweeted that out on my Twitter account. So go check that out and inject it into your veins, as I will.
Yep.
So get hype, man. Get hype.
I know. So that's something I'll do this weekend. A good amount of college football. I like to go to like the sports bars and stuff and just check out the games. I want to segue into the NFL because we have a week before that happens. What are 2 players in real life that you're looking forward to end up seeing or thinking have big seasons? You can't say Saquon Barkley. And 2 fantasy football players.
In real life, Oh man, that's tough. Najee Harris. Just because I think the Steelers are going to rely on him a lot. Because you don't know what the offensive line is going to look like. You don't know what, if it's going to be Kenny Pickett. Is it going to be Mitchell Trubisky? I know they got some good wide receivers, but I think they're going to rely on him a lot. And I would say Micah Parsons, because again, 2 homer picks, but I think Najee Harris could be a guy who, don't think he'll be like a lead the league in rushing type of thing, but he'll be up there, I think. And he'll probably have, I really think he can have one of those 2,000-yard all-purpose seasons, because they're going to rely on him a bunch. And he might, push the envelope for touches this year. Maybe not like Larry Johnson of Kansas City Chiefs days, but he'll have one of those seasons that might ding him up a little bit going forward. And then Parsons, I think, is, man, I mean, he would set the world on fire last year. If TJ Watt didn't set the sack record or tie the sack record, he probably would have been defensive MVP with what he did. So they're going to line him up all over the place. They got some guys coming back that will maybe limit his time at the end, but he was so productive there that I think it's only going to be magnified that he is in that position, and put him at linebacker, put him all over the field. Hill, maybe put him at safety. I don't know. And then fantasy wise, I want to see like the upward continuous trend of Josh Allen. I just want to see, like, we've seen it over the years. Like, okay, like we're talking about him as like an elite guy. Him and Joe Burrow, I think, are, my voice is cracked. Damn. I think we're putting those two guys in the same conversation. Like, are they? I think Josh Allen is way more in the elite category than Joe Burrow is, but Joe Burrow is right there. He's knocking on the door. So the continuous upward trend for those guys, like, we know what they can do. We saw what Burrow can do against, the best of the best with Patrick Mahomes in that game, and obviously it didn't go their way, but he was balling out, if not more than Patrick Mahomes, and the defenses let him down. And then Joe Burrow led the Bengals to the Super Bowl, didn't get it done, but nonetheless, still there. So the continuous upward trend of those two guys. And then speaking of receivers, I want to see what Devontae Adams does without Aaron Rodgers. Now, Derek Carr can put up stupid numbers, more passing yards and touchdowns than Aaron Rodgers, just because that's what their offense does. But I want to see what he can do with a true, like, literal number one wide receiver. A lot of people will think that Devontae Adams is the number one receiver in the league, rightfully so. But want to see what he can do. And I think the other thing is, like, Tom Brady. Like, how much longer has he got? Like, I know, what are we doing? And he's got Chris Godwin, he's got Mike Evans, he's got Julio Jones. So, like, if you're gonna win another one, it's that time of year. And then I was watching the top 100. And the last thing I'll say, this is watching the top 100. Aaron Donald, like, number 2 ranked player in the top 100. He's one of those generational talents. People say that about a lot of different players that come and go, but, like, he's one of those guys that will be talked about forever. So, like, I want to, like, you always want to see him, and just what it's like watching LeBron and, like, all those guys that are, like, considered the generational talents, and, like, always up there for MVP and whatnot. And he's always up there for defensive player of the year. And, you just want to kind of see him as a football fan. You just want to see that type of greatness continue. Same thing with Tom Brady. People hate Tom Brady. Like, shit, dude, he's like 50 years old, for God's sakes.
He is.
So, like, I just want to see, like, how he just keeps balling out. And speaking of Devontae Adams, this will be the last thing I say. I want to see what Aaron Rodgers does with no true, I mean, he's got, got his targets there, but want to see what Aaron Rodgers does now that he's got, everything cleared up in the offseason, and he's back and drinking kombucha and all that kind of stuff. Like, I just want to see what he does. Everything. So I think, those are my 2 times 6 to take a look at this season.
So mine that I have, first up, what you got in the cup?
Oh, I told you a Cooper cup. There's just water.
Okay.
I thought you said Cooper Cup. I was, yeah, cool.
No.
All right. My fault.
No. So mine in real life, Steven touched on the wide receiver. I'll touch on the quarterback. I want to see what Derek Carr does. Because he has Devontae Adams, but don't forget he has Darren Waller as well there. And then he has Hunter Renfrow. It's almost his make or break type of time. You have all these weapons. I want to see what you end up doing with it. So does the team want to see what you end up doing with it. So Derek Carr is my first one. The other one is Josh Allen, not from the statistical standpoint, but seeing if he can take that team over the hump now. He has everything he needs on offense. Knox is another year in the system. You have Diggs, who's going to be ready to go. You have 3 running backs, so you could just swap them in and out to see what's going to happen there. Your defense is ready and is locked and loaded. You got Von Miller helping that defense. So this is your chance to see what you're going to do over there. In terms of fantasy, the first one is J.K. Dobbins in the system, seeing if he's healthy, he potentially can do very well in it. Another one is Michael Pittman. He did pretty good under Carson Wentz, and now you have Matt Ryan. We've seen what Matt Ryan does with wide receivers. And
big wide receivers.
Yeah, big wide receivers too. In fantasy drafts, you might have to pay up for him or pick up for him because he's going to be going early. Fantasy football this year doesn't have as many good players as I thought it did have, especially if you do keeper leagues. You're not going to get a lot of decent people. And the final one is DeAndre Hopkins. Do not forget about the suspended and injured players. Chris Godwin, don't forget about DeAndre Hopkins. Don't forget about. So those are mine. And I just want to go into the would you rather. So the would you rather that we have for today is a super easy one. Which of these do you think is the most stellar or best accomplishment? A bicycle kick in soccer, a between the legs hit in like tennis. So when they're running to the back line, they hit it between their legs, and over the wall catch, like what Kenny Lofton used to do, grabbing it off the wall, or a one-handed catch in football.
Probably either. I would say the tennis shot. That's not something that like they do every single match. One-handed catches happens like every single week. Depends on the degree of difficulty with that one. I would definitely say the tennis one. I've seen that happen live like twice with the limited tennis that I watch. But it's like they know what they're gonna do, and then they fucking do it, and it happens every time.
Yes.
Like I think I saw Djokovic do it twice in one match. It's like the other guy knows it's coming because like they set up for it, and then they can't stop it though somehow.
Nope. So that's the same thing with me. I'm surprised. I didn't know which one you're going to say. Tennis. Easily for me, just the degree of difficulty you have to do to end up running to the back, smack it between your legs, then getting over the net.
And not hit your nuts.
Not hit your nuts. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
with the ball or the racket.
I know.
That shit, no.
So real quick, what you got?
Penn State, baby. 15-0, national champs, calling it now.
Oh my God. So mine is just stay tuned what happened to college football and stay tuned for what happens in the NFL. I'm excited for this year. Good luck to everyone out there in their fantasy football league drafts. This is going to be a big weekend for them. And make sure y'all tune in next week. Other than that,
peace
out.